Okay, so it's time to quit. It's time to quit nicotine. It's time to quit vaping. It's time to welcome a new version of yourself into your life. It's time to change because this addiction no longer belongs to us, no longer represents us. So, how do we do that? How do we actually start this very hard journey? Well, I'm gonna try my best to give you the 8 tips/steps that helped me in the first week, but most of all, the first day. I'm AJ, and it's been more than 5 months now that I no longer vape and I no longer have nicotine in my body, and I'm so happy. I feel so free. But I want to go back a little bit because every single day there's so many people that decide to quit, and there's so many people that start their journey. So, where do we start? We start from step number 1, which is, are you actually ready to quit? Do you actually feel like it's time for you to quit? Because before this time, I had tried to quit 4 times, and the longest that I had managed to quit, one of the times that I tried, was 2 months and a half, and then I started vaping again. But why? Was I really sure that that was the right time? Was I really sure that I no longer wanted to be represented by that version of myself that vapes? And that's the core of this change, which is, are you ready to finally welcome the version of yourself that doesn't vape? Because the thing is, when I used to go out and I used to meet new people, or I used to just hang out with my friends, the more that we grew up, the more that I started to feel like, wow, I'm that person that vapes. It became who I am. And most of my friends don't vape and never vaped. And so they kind of have started to make me realize and be very aware of the fact that I vaped. They were just saying like, wow, you hit the vape a lot, or things like that. And it got to a point that I started to think like, wow, I actually do hit the vape a lot. I vape. I'm a guy who vapes. Do I feel like this version of myself that vapes is the version of myself that I feel like it represents me the best? No. So I got to a point that I was ready to finally change. Vaping and nicotine at the end of the day represented more like a friend that I felt like I had, more than something that I wanted to be associated with. So I will give you 2 options, 2 paths that you can take. One path, you're ready to quit now. You're ready to get rid of that version of yourself that vapes, that no longer represents you, and you're ready to move forward, and these 8 steps could be, I hope so, useful for you. Or another path, you're not ready yet. You want to quit, but you feel like if you might start now, in a week or 2, you might fall back into the addiction, and you might just feel like, yeah, I want to quit, but I don't feel like I'm mentally prepared enough to quit. And so I actually applaud you for realizing that, because you don't have to quit unless you're fully 100% ready to quit. From now on, slowly prepare yourself towards that path, towards the path of quitting. You might not be ready now, but you will be in a month, in a week, in 2 months, in 3 months. As long as from today you start visualizing slowly that you're walking towards that path, then good for you. Then that's still good. Because quitting is no joke. And I wanted to quit this time without going back. Step number 2, if you're ready to quit, throw away your vapes. There's no need for you to have vapes or old cigarettes, old vapes still in your house. Throw them in the trash can, and not the trash can inside of your house. The big garbage can outside, because if you have them inside in your trash can, we know that in the middle of the night, one day that it's particularly hard, you're gonna go in the trash bag and dig your vape out, like I did many times. So we don't want to do that, because we no longer associate ourselves with the past version of ourselves that vapes. That person no longer exists. Now we don't vape, and so we don't need vapes. So throw them away. Now, we're ready to quit. We're confident. We can do this, right? We threw away vapes, everything, every distraction. But it's still very much inside of our head. It's still very much here inside, right? We need to vocalize it. We need to say it. We need to write it down on paper. Step 3. Write it down on paper. Write a letter to yourself and explain to yourself why you're quitting. What is the reason? Whatever the reason might be, write it on paper. Look at yourself in the mirror and read it. Read it out loud. Vocalize it. The more that we say things, the more that we express what we want to do, the more that we vocalize things from the inside to the outside, the more that actually they become true in the real world, okay? If you still keep everything inside, it's more difficult. So I want you to write it down on paper and say it and be proud of it, okay? Because step number 4, which is tell someone about this change. Tell someone about your journey. Because if we keep everything inside, right, then we always feel like no one knows that we were, on this journey, so it's not as impactful. And so we tend to not take this path too seriously, okay? But if we tell a friend, if we tell our parents, if we tell our partner to really support us in this journey, right? To help us, then it becomes way easier. I felt like a few times that I tried to quit, I didn't tell my friends, or I didn't even tell my best friend, because I knew deep down, that I wasn't going to actually quit. I knew that deep down I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try, but I am 75% sure I'm going to go back to smoking because this is too hard. Now, when I was actually ready to quit last September, I told my friends, I told my family, I told people on social media, I told everybody I was tired, I was done. And I wanted to be also like that. I wanted to feel the support from people. I wanted to feel people helping me, and I also wanted to speak it into the universe that I was gonna quit. And that helped me so much because it didn't feel like a secret. It was something that I brought to the light. It was something that I was completely 100% ready to move forward. So sorry, I have to reshoot this part from here on because my camera fell and it was out of focus from this point on. So I have to reshoot it now, and I apologize for that. But let's go straight to step number 5. Okay, so now we are ready to quit. We want to quit. We wrote it down. We vocalized it. We are confident about this new journey. So what do we need now? We need something a little bit more physical that we can touch and we can use to help us on this very tough day. So the vapes that I was using were very sweet and sugary. When I quit the first day and the first week, I was craving sugar like crazy. So I definitely bought some candy the first week and the first day because my mouth and my mind, they just needed that sugar, that hit of sugar that I was constantly feeding with my vape. At the same time, I didn't want to just eat candy on top of candy and all this sugar because it's not healthy. So what I found on Amazon was a lot of sugar-free candy, especially lollipops, mints, things that you can kinda imitate that hand to mouth movement that I was doing with the vape, which was something that I missed and that I kind of still miss sometimes, but it's not connected to the nicotine. It's just connected to the movement and to the distraction. So sugar-free candy helped me a lot. What also helped me was doing some shopping. Now, what I usually say as well, yeah, you have to be ready to quit. You have to be sure about your decision, but at the same time, I think it's better if you have also a little bit of money saved for the first week, the first month, because it's going to get intense. We used to feed so much dopamine to our brains with nicotine. Every single time, all this dopamine and all this just excitement of vaping was just continuously fed into our minds. And so now that we no longer can do that, I felt like I had an empty void. I still sometimes feel that feeling, but it's not as strong as it was on the first month. So what I felt like it could help me on day 1 was doing a little bit of shopping for something new. Okay, so we are a new version of ourselves, right? So I connected it with buying new clothes, trying out a new style, lifestyle. And that's something that helped me to distract my mind. It kept me busy from thinking, I need to vape, I need to vape, I need to vape, and switch my focus to something exciting like new clothes. I want to buy new books, new video games. I want to go out more. Let's go out for dinner. Let's do something exciting. So you have to kind of invest a little bit of money. You have to invest in yourself a little bit on this first day because you just need to distract your mind a lot. That's just what worked for me though, because I know that some people went to the gym the first day or like for the first month and like started to work out. You need to do something a little bit different the first day. And it usually involves spending a little bit of money, whether it's for sugar-free candy, for going to the gym, going on a hike, going on a little trip, going out for dinner. It involves spending a little bit of money. So just make sure that you have some money saved for this. Now, step number 6, okay? You will have some cravings. The cravings, especially on day 1 and the first week, are going to be strong, okay? But you can do it. You can overcome the cravings. So my advice for the cravings would be have a ritual that you can do every single time that you have a craving so that your brain identifies the craving with something that you decide to do when you feel that feeling, okay? For example, you feel a craving, have a huge glass of water. You feel a craving, go out and start running, but actually do it. So that every single time that you will have a craving, your brain will identify the craving with something like, oh, I have to run now. Oh, I have to chug a huge glass of water now. So every single time your brain will start associating the cravings to something kind of like intense that you will do when you feel that craving. That helped me. Every single time that I felt a craving, I started to breathe, I meditated. So see, like try to find new things to do when you feel, especially when you feel a craving. So step number 7 is what I call the emergency step. Okay, we have tried all the steps. We have done all these things and now time is passing. And it's not just for day 1, it's also for the next days. And you feel like, damn, the cravings are too strong. The need to smoke is too strong. But I also don't want to go back to vaping. I don't want to go back to nicotine. I want to keep on walking on this new path. What should I do? Well, what I call the emergency step is where you can try out nicotine-free vapes and make sure that it's 100% nicotine-free. I have to say that not specifically on day 1 and not even on week 1, but like at the end of the first month, I wanted a vape so bad and I wanted that movement to come back in my life so bad that I was starting to think, wow, is this the point where I actually might go back to vaping? But I didn't want to go back to vaping. I wanted to avoid that thought at all costs. So I actually bought a nicotine-free vape. And I have to say, it helped me. I can't say that it didn't. But the magic of this tool faded kind of like quickly. Like I used it for like a week, I think, and then I just found myself not wanting to use it or just forgetting about it. So it's something that definitely helped me in a crucial point where I really was at my lowest. It was an emergency. And I used it at that point. The one that I got, I don't even remember the name of mine because now I don't even know where my nicotine-free vape is because I literally stopped caring. I stopped caring. And I don't remember the name. I just remember it was white. And but you can find it. There's so many options on Google, on the internet. But I strongly suggest that you try your best. You try your hardest to do it without the nicotine-free vapes because we still don't know if they are 100% risk-free, which I'm pretty sure they're not, but still better than smoking actual nicotine. But yeah, keep it as like the last step, the last resource that you could use, okay? We got to the end of all these steps. What is the last step? Step 8, the most important step. And now when I say step 8, you will think, oh, this is so cheesy. This is the same stuff over and over. It does sound cheesy, but you know what? It is true. It is 100% true, because you just see this sentence now and you think of the surface of this sentence. You don't really go in depth of what believing in yourself actually means. Step 8, believe in yourself that you can do it. But see, it's a concept that used to come in one ear for me and go out from the other. I never really actually absorbed this concept that I can do it too. And for me, quitting vaping was something colossal, huge. Like, I thought I was never going to be able to do it. But then I started to believe in myself with all the strength that I could have. And it worked. It actually worked. And by believing in myself, I started to say it out loud, to write it down and vocalize it, talk to people that I was quitting, try all these tricks and things that I could do to keep staying on the right path that I felt like it was right, because I was doing it for my health, I was doing it for myself, and I was doing it for also the reason that I talked about on step 1. I didn't want people to perceive me as a vapor, as a smoker, as someone that always needed to like step outside for 5 minutes because he needed a vape. But why? Why do you need it? You don't need the vape. You need to believe in yourself. That's what you need. You need to believe in a healthier, more confident, more stronger self. And that's what I picked between the two options. I picked to believe in myself. I picked to really lift myself up, and I'm so happy about it. And I'm not different than you. I'm not different than anybody. We all share the same power. We all share the same skills. It really just goes down to step 1. When are you ready to do it? Don't feel rushed. Just know that you can do it though. So that's what I wanted you to know for the last step. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am happy that you're here, because that means that you want to quit or you have quit. So I'm so happy to see you on this path, the same path that I'm at. Welcome, and I wish the best for you and for your new path. I know that you can do it. Please leave a comment if you're going through a hard time in your quitting journey. Leave a comment if you have more tips and tricks on what we could do on the first day. And please, if you have anything to add, feel free to do so. I wish you the best, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your night or day, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.